Chandamama Mahabharata, Part 20. The burning of Khandava forest. Hearing Agni describe his tribulations, Brahma reflected for a moment and said, Nara and Narayana have incarnated upon the earth as Krishna and Arjuna. They will visit the region of the Khandava forest. Find the right opportunity and seek their assistance. If they help you, let alone Indra, even if all the gods obstruct you, your task will proceed without any impediment. Therefore, Agni came that day to seek the assistance of Krishna and Arjuna. Hearing Agni request his assistance, Arjuna said, O Agnihotra, I am well acquainted with all the divine weapons required to battle Indra and the other gods. However, I do not possess a good bow at present, nor do I have a sturdy chariot yoked with excellent horses. If you can procure appropriate weapons for Krishna and myself, along with a chariot capable of bearing both of us, I shall fulfill your desire. Agni thought of Varuna. Varuna appeared. Agni said to Varuna, O noble one, you possess the bow named Khandava given to you by Soma, along with inexhaustible quivers, a chariot bearing the monkey flag, and the discus weapon. I have need for them now, please lend them to me. Varuna delivered the requested items to Agni and disappeared. Agni then presented them to Krishna and Arjuna. Krishna accepted the discus. Arjuna received the Khandava and the inexhaustible quivers. The Khandava was no ordinary bow. It was equal to 100,000 weapons. Vishwakarma had crafted that chariot and the inexhaustible quivers in antiquity. Soma had utilized them during the wars between the gods and the demons. The discus weapon accepted by Krishna possessed the power to return after slaying enemies. Before disappearing, Varuna also bestowed a make named Kaumodki upon Krishna. Having received the weapons, Krishna and Arjuna said, O fire god, you may now begin the burning of the Khandava forest. Even if Indra arrives, he can cause us no harm. Agni was filled with boundless enthusiasm. He entered the Khandava forest and began burning its great trees, creepers, herbs, and flora. Unable to endure the heat of the wildfire, as various creatures attempted to flee outward, Krishna and Arjuna intercepted them, making them become offerings to the fire. The birds that attempted to escape into the sky perished from the heat and fell back directly into the flames. The Khandava forest burned so ferociously that it resembled an untimely cataclysm. Terrified by the heat, the gods approached Indra and reported that all the realms were turning to ash. Indra commanded Parjanya to pour heavy rains over the Khandava forest. No matter how torrential the downpour, the falling water evaporated instantly upon contact and failed to affect the fire in any manner. Seeing this, Indra became exceedingly furious. He commanded all the clouds to unleash rain upon the Khandava forest simultaneously. Arjuna constructed a canopy using his arrows, covering not just the Khandava forest but extending far beyond all its borders, ensuring that not a single drop of rain could penetrate. The burning of the Khandava forest continued without any further interruption. Once it became certain that Agni would completely incinerate the forest with the assistance of Krishna and Arjuna, Takshaka, who had long served as the protector of that forest, calmly left the forest and reached Kurukshetra. Arjuna noticed Takshaka's son, Ashwasena, attempting to leave the forest under his mother's protection. Arjuna severed the head of Ashwasena's mother and the tail of Ashwasena with his arrows. Although his tail was cut, Ashwasena escaped with his life. Then a fierce battle ensued between Indra and Arjuna. However, Indra could not vanquish Arjuna. When certain demons taking refuge in the Khandava forest came to fight, Krishna slew them with his discus. When a demon named Maya was fleeing to escape, and Krishna was about to slay him, Maya sought refuge with Arjuna. Agni burned the Khandava forest for 15 days. Nearly all the living creatures in it perished along with the forest. Those who survived without perishing were Takshaka, his son Ashwasena, Maya, and the 4 Sharnaka birds. These Shangakas were the offspring of a sage named Mandapala. Mandapala had observed the vow of celibacy, performed severe penance for a long duration, and went to heaven through his yogic power. However, he found no joy in heaven. Mandapala asked the gods there why heaven, which is supposed to grant all happiness, failed to provide him joy. To this, the gods replied, You have cleared your debt to the gods through penance, but you have not cleared your debt to the ancestors by obtaining progeny. That is why you find no joy in this heaven. Then, reflecting that birds attain offspring rapidly, Mandapala assumed the form of a Sharnaka bird and fathered 4 children with a female bird named Jarita. After that, he returned to his hermitage and lived a normal domestic life with another wife named Lapita. While matters stood thus, one day Mandapala saw Agni going to burn the Khandava forest. Perceiving Agni's intention through his power, the sage said, "O Agnihotra, my children reside within the Khandava forest. Do not let them die." Agni agreed to his request. For that reason, the 4 Sharnaka birds escaped with their lives. Be that as it may, the Khandava forest was completely incinerated. The fire god's indigestion was cured. He blessed Krishna and Arjuna, who had assisted him, and went his way. Indra also admired the strength and capability of Krishna and Arjuna and appeared before them along with the gods. They offered their salutations to Indra. When Indra bade them choose a boon, Arjuna requested the grant of divine weapons. "First, Maheshwar will appear before you. Then I shall grant you the divine weapons," Indra informed Arjuna. He then blessed the friendship between Krishna and Arjuna to endure eternally and returned to heaven along with the gods. Subsequently, Krishna and Arjuna returned to their place of recreation on the banks of the Yamuna river. Maya accompanied them as well. Bowing to Arjuna, Maya said, "O great soul, it is solely through your grace that I emerged alive from the Khandava forest. Neither this Krishna nor Agnihotra would have hesitated to burn me. How may I return this favor? I am the Vishwakarma of the demons. Therefore, I wish to construct whatever you desire before I depart. Kindly state your wish." Arjuna requested nothing and said, "Your sentiment of friendship is sufficient for us." However, Maya insisted on constructing something. Therefore, Arjuna sought the counsel of Krishna. Krishna reflected for a moment and said to Maya, "Construct a magnificent assembly hall for Yudhishthira. It must be exceptionally beautiful and possess divine grandeur." Maya agreed to this proposal. Krishna and Arjuna returned to Indraprastha along with Maya and told Yudhishthira everything about the burning of the Khandava forest. Yudhishthira learned how Arjuna had saved Maya from the fire and how Maya had offered to construct an assembly hall in return. He rejoiced and extended appropriate hospitality to Maya. Subsequently, on an auspicious day, Maya performed his ceremonial ablutions, made offerings to Brahmins, and began the construction of the assembly hall on a square site having 10,000 openings on all sides. Around this time, Krishna began his return journey to Dwarka. He departed using the very chariot that Arjuna had received. The Pandavas accompanied him for a considerable distance to bid him farewell. After some time, Maya completed the construction of the assembly hall. He had previously stored various precious gems and materials on the banks of Bindusrovar with the intention of constructing an assembly hall for a demon king named Vrishparva. Vrishparva had also concealed his incomparable make at that location. The conch of Varuna, named Devdatta, was also among the materials kept there. Maya brought that make and presented it to Bhima, and delivered the conch to Arjuna. The method by which Maya crafted the assembly hall was truly extraordinary. Within it, Maya constructed several pools. He adorned their walls with precious gems, their leaves with Vaidurya gems, and their steps with crystal. He arranged lotuses, tortoises, and fish crafted from gold. He ensured there was no apparent distinction between the water bodies and the solid floor. Throughout the assembly hall, he embedded gems into the beams, pillars, walls, and platforms. That assembly hall contained numerous fascinating illusions. It would cause various illusions to the viewers. Yudhishthira honored Maya appropriately for creating this extraordinary assembly hall and bid him farewell. After that, he offered feasts and hospitality to 10,000 Brahmins, distributed gifts, received their blessings, and entered the Maya assembly hall along with his brothers. The kings of numerous nations acknowledged the greatness of Yudhishthira and arrived to present gifts such as horses, golden ornaments, precious gems, beautiful maidens, and attendants. Among those who brought gifts were the rulers of nations including Anga, Vanga, Kalinga, Andhra, Pundraka, Kirta, Magad, Matsya, Malwa, Kekya, Karusha, Kamboja, Madra, and Pandya. Similarly, numerous renowned sages visited the assembly hall of Yudhishthira and told many stories. At that time, Sage Narada arrived at the assembly hall of Yudhishthira along with his disciples including Parijta and Ravta. Yudhishthira revered Narada with devotion, offering him ceremonial water, a seat, and Madhuparka. Sage Narada spoke with Yudhishthira regarding the numerous duties a ruler must perform, described the assembly halls of the guardian deities of the directions, explained that those who perform the Rajsuya sacrifice attain heaven, and mentioned that kings like Harishchandra reside in the realm of Indra precisely because they performed that sacrifice. He also delivered a warning. That warning was, if the Rajsuya is performed successfully, a war causing immense loss of human life will follow. After giving this warning, Narada said to Yudhishthira, "O king, think carefully and do whatever seems best to you." He then took leave of Yudhishthira and departed for Dwarka. Chandamama Mahabharata, Part 20 complete. For now, Swasti.